Buckle up for this one, everyone. We are going back in time to M's childhood. When I was a kid, there was this one show that I absolutely loved. I adored this show, but everybody in my house hated it. Literally, my mom would go outside and sit on the porch or either just shut herself in a room or take a bath or something to get out of sight when this show came on TV because she hated the way that these people looked. And that was my favorite show, which was the Doodlebops. If you don't know what the Doodlebops are, get ready, buckle up, you are in for a ride because this show is hilarious and, not gonna lie, now that I look back on it as an adult, a little scary. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about what is the Doodlebops and what happened to them. The Doodlebops was a Canadian live-action musical comedy television show for children produced by Cookie Jar Entertainment, which is now rebranded as Wild Brain for CBC television, once again in Canada. But this also aired in the United States on Disney Channel's Playhouse, now known as Disney Junior, which is where I saw it for the first time. The Doodlebops aired from April 11, 2005 to November 17, 2007, with 3 seasons and 65 episodes. Not gonna lie, I feel like this was definitely one that a lot of theater kids grew up watching because this had it all. This was basically Hamilton before children. It had dances, it had choreography, it had songs, skits, humor, and everything. It was just amazing.
We promise to share, we promise to care, all together as a team. Just stick to it, we can do it, we can do anything.
Yes, this was technically more of a preschool to kindergarten, maybe a little bit older, but I watched this all the way up until I was almost in middle school. Little cringe, but I don't care. I loved this show. And so the Doodlebops were actually played by real people. These were real actors playing characters. So we have Lisa Lennox as Dee Dee Doodle. We have Chad McNamara as Rooney Doodle. And we have Jonathan Welkser as Mo Doodle. And the fun thing about the Doodlebops is they're kind of in a band. And so everybody has their own kind of instrument that they play, their own role in the band. So for example, Dee Dee, who is the pink one, she is a singer and also on keyboards. Rooney, who is the blue one, is on guitar and vocals. And Mo, the orange one, is on drums and on vocals. They're all on vocals. They can all sing. And there are a whole bunch of characters in this show that are supporting characters that come back every couple episodes, almost honestly some every episode. For example, we have Mr. Moosehead, the bus driver Bob, Jasmine. I'm not going to talk about them though. I just want to talk about the Doodlebops today because honestly, they need their own complete episode. So the fun thing about these characters is that they are all a little bit silly. So Dee Dee is definitely fun-loving and very outgoing, very extroverted, loves to sing and dance, and is just honestly kind of like the girl boss brain of the group. And Rooney is also kind of clumsy. He's a little bit more clumsy than the other ones, kind of more comic relief character, but he is just so fun and lovable. And Mo is the brains, which honestly kind of surprises me that the wiki labels him as the brains because honestly, I always thought he was kind of funny, but to be fair, he honestly to me always felt like the leader of the group. And the Doodlebops were huge. If you were not a kid in the early 2000s, I'm so sorry you missed out on this, but you definitely should go and try to watch some episodes. It's a very crazy ride. The Doodlebops was huge. They had so much merchandise. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the merch and literal shows, live shows, tours that they went on. And so once again, the whole segment of the show is that they are in a band together. I haven't found anything on the internet, but from what I remember, I believe that they are siblings, but I don't quite remember, so please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But anyway, they are a musical trio, and so they have all kinds of dolls, they have all kinds of sticker books. You can even get their toys, like for example, you can literally get Dee Dee's keyboard that is a literal guitar. You can get microphones, and you can even have the bus that they get on. And yes, there were in fact tours. Much like how the Wiggles nowadays have tours, the Doodlebops also had tours. Their first ever theatrical live show, the Doodlebops Together Forever Tour, was developed and toured in Canada in the early 2009. The show includes music from the show and obviously some of their most favorite and popular songs that we see all throughout the series, and they also incorporate gigantic elaborate scenes with huge sets, like actual nice production sets and theatrical costumes. And of course, you have the actual actors as the Doodlebops. These shows were managed and produced by Cobra Entertainment and presented by Papquin Entertainment. And when I say they went all out, they went all out. Like, they were singing live, they were dancing live, they were doing skits live. It truly was a young theater kid's gateway into theater. Did the Doodlebops stop there? No, they did not, because after their live show ended, the Doodlebops came back with Doodlebops Rockin' Roadshow. In 2009, the Doodlebops got an animated series, and in September 2009, Cookie Jar Entertainment announced that they would co-produce the series with German Optics Entertainment and also the Argentinian Illusion Studios. This obviously led to the Doodlebops Rockin' Roadshow being able to air on sites such as Nickelodeon and on Disney. It first appeared on February 20, 2010 on Kids CBS, which is for Canada, and on CBS Saturday morning for the US kids. This series, once again, is animated, unlike the original, which actually voiced and was played by the characters. This is actually just animated. And I just want to give a clap and a half to the producers of the show for getting the original people, the original actors and actress for the Doodlebops to come back to the series as voice actors. So thankfully, we still have the actual voice actors for the Doodlebops, and genuinely, that is so amazing. That is something that a lot of series don't do nowadays. Honestly, a lot of people don't want to revise their roles as well, so it's really nice to see just how much love that the actors and actresses really have for this series. So what is the Doodlebops A Rockin' Roadshow about? So this series focuses on the Doodlebops going on their honest-to-God world tour with their bus driver, and honestly, it's just kind of funny with seeing them just being on a bus together, because like I said, they're kind of a little clumsy. They get into a little bit of trouble every once in a while, and sometimes they don't even get along, but at the end of the day, they always come back together, they play a little song, and they just carry about with their shows and just have fun being performers. This show was extremely memorable to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I know a lot of people, like I said in the beginning, my mom included, who were terrified of the Doodlebops. I love them, but I'm not gonna lie, there were definitely some episodes that scared me. There is this episode called the Doodlebops Very Scary, which is so scary to me just because, one, their faces with the face paint. I, for one, do not necessarily like face paint, but this episode, I just remember being a kid and just like having to turn it off because I was so frightened by it. So it definitely does not, necessarily censor as much. Like, of course, it's still for kids, but they're not afraid to get you thinking and not afraid to definitely throw in some scary things. And I'm not gonna lie, like I said, so many people hated this show just because how scary the characters looked. And I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite things about this show was, in fact, the skits. I love the skits. There was one specifically with Mo where it was, "No, Mo, don't pull the rope," and he would pull a rope that just magically came from the ceiling and drenched him in water. Can I say that word right? Drenched? Yes. And can we just take a second to look at the background? I feel like for me personally, the background just made the show even better because they were not afraid to commit to the bit and make a studio that was honestly the epitome of what the Doodlebops stand for. Color, fun, and just all around silliness. I love this. I love color. Obviously, if you're on my channel, you probably can tell how much I love color. And so the fact that I grew up with the Doodlebops, who were not afraid to show like, I'm gonna wear a funky color outfit and no one can stop me, I definitely feel like that really influenced me and a lot of people growing up. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to be that person, but if you do want to watch the Doodlebops, there are a lot of episodes free on YouTube. So, you know, if you haven't checked it out, or maybe you want to go down a little nostalgia lane, check it out. It's pretty fun. Not gonna say. You know, just saying. The Doodlebops was an iconic show growing up for me and many, many other children. But let me know down below in the comments, did you guys ever watch the Doodlebops, or is this your first time hearing about the Doodlebops? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions about the series down below in the comments. And if you have any other kind of nostalgic shows that you want me to talk about, leave them down below in the comments and maybe I can make a video on them and I'll shout you out for it. But anyway, that's going to be it for me today. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!